Hi, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today and kind of fill us in on everything that's going on with Queen City Jam Session. I appreciate the time, and we appreciate you guys bringing this fantastic new festival to the city. We have needed it badly for a long time. I thought that we could start out by kind of telling us how this idea of bringing a festival kind of first popped up and a little bit about maybe how it came to fruition.
Yeah. You want to take that one, Greg? I feel like.
Sure, you want me to start? Okay. So I think we agree with you. Charlotte's needed a festival for a long time. It's been, I think, over 20 years since there was truly a live music festival, multi-day live music festival in Charlotte. And this grew out of sort of naturally out of a relationship with MaxxMusic and NoDa Brewing. So we had over the past few years pre-pandemic, we had done some larger outdoor shows. So MaxxMusic normally does shows in neighborhood theater or the Performing Arts Center in Charlotte, but we had done some shows at NoDa Brewing outdoors on Sundays, but just one-day events, and those have been quite successful. And I think the relationship between the two companies is extremely good. NoDa is very focused on NoDa Brewing is very focused on music as part of their brand as well. So it just sort of grew naturally. And after the pandemic, MaxxMusic did some outdoor shows last year when we couldn't have public assembly indoors. And we just kept talking, and I think NoDa felt that they would like to see a live music festival in Charlotte as well. So we joined forces, and here we are.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're doing some construction at our space here, which allowed us to have a new overflow lot. And it kind of just was the perfect fit for a festival space as well. So that's where we're going to have it. We were having these conversations like, oh, it'd be cool if we did another show like we have in the past, one day, one band. But then when Gregg and his team came out here and looked at the space, actually, this could be a whole lot bigger than what we've done in the past. And we all got really excited about it, and it's kind of evolved from there.
So tell us a little bit about that and kind of the logistics. We're having multiple stages? Is it all outside? We've got some inside. What's the scoop on that?
It'll be outside and inside. So that lot, that overflow lot I referred to, is about 2 acres. So that's where the festival, the primary spot of the festival will be. So we'll have 2 bands there. And Gregg and team were really intentional to make sure that we always have music playing. So I said 2 bands, sorry, 2 stages there. So on one stage, the main stage, which is going to be sponsored by Pure Intentions Coffee,
okay.
That's where the headliners will be and some of the bigger names. When they're breaking down, when they stop, stage 2 will have music playing at the same time. And then as they break down and stop, stage 1 will be up and running again. There's also an indoor stage. That's a stage benefiting the Isabel Santos Foundation. That's going to be inside the NoDa Brewing tap room. So the tap room that weekend will actually be closed to the public, closed just to ticket holders. And so the whole space will be the festival. So 3 stages total. And then in between the tap room indoor and the main festival area, we have our typical patio outdoor area, and that's where merchandise and vendors will be.
Okay, awesome. Now, when you were talking about all these stages and the talent you're going to bring in, what kind of conversations did you have? What type of, you've got a broad variety of artists playing. So kind of what was your goal coming in and bringing something unique and different? It's not a rock festival. It's not simply a Americana. It's a whole mixture of things. So kind of what did you do when you were trying to recruit the talent for this one, and what were your goals on that?
Yeah, thank you for noticing. Seriously, I mean, that was exactly our intention. We didn't just want to have a bluegrass festival or a jam festival or a rock festival or blues. We very intentionally tried to be diverse in the artists that we booked for this festival. So whether it be diversity in race or sex or whatever it is. So yeah, that was very intentionally designed. And there were a lot of discussions about who would fit, who wouldn't fit. And you know, it's like any booking process. Some of the people that we wanted weren't available, but I feel like we ended up with a very good lineup, and we have a line on some really great people for next year too. We have longer to plan. So
yeah, and what's exciting about that too is we have a really exciting lineup, some bigger names that I think are really drawing in the crowds. But MaxxMusic's been really intentional about making sure we're featuring smaller artists as well. So going back to those 3 stages, that indoor stage is going to be it's smaller than the 2 outdoor ones, obviously, and will allow us to feature some more local acts who might not be able to be at the festival otherwise, just given the scale of it. So it really will have a good mix, and kind of goes back to the reason why we created the festival, of making sure we have something that can build the music community in Charlotte. A part of that is helping to build these artists and give them some publicity. So excited to have really big names like Infamous String Dusters, Green Sky Bluegrass, O'Teal and Friends, but then also more local acts as well that will fill in some gaps here and there.
And I love that. I love that there's going to be local artists that we, you know, can see at the festival, and it's great for them because, like you said, you get people who are coming maybe just to see Green Sky Bluegrass or the Infamous String Dusters, and they'll have a chance to see all these other acts and, you know, draw attention to them and their craft, and hopefully, you know, keep the Charlotte music scene alive and going, and just make it bigger and better, which is, I think, all of our goals at this point.
Absolutely. And that's been something over the years that we at MaxxMusic have really tried to do, to make sure when we have the opportunity to include local talent, whether it's putting them as support on a larger show or including them on a festival like this.
Absolutely. Now, being that the location is at a brewery, that's going to be an important thing, the brews. So do we have anything special on tap as far as any special brewing going on specifically for the festival, or do we have something going to be featured?
So this year we decided to not do a special beer just for the festival, given everything else going on with the festival. But we will have, of course, NoDa Brewing beers there for everybody's drinking pleasure, and we plan to make them very accessible for the guests. So you can go into the tap room, go into or at the outdoor area rather. There'll be numerous stations. Our VIP guests will have a private bar. So for anybody listening or reading, a great reason to still get the limited VIP tickets that are out there. And so there will be plenty of options to grab your favorite Charlotte beer from NoDa Brewing.
Great. And what about food? Because everybody gets hungry at a festival. So what are we doing for food?
Yeah, especially as long as this one will be too. There will be plenty of food for folks. So we're bringing in local food trucks. It'll vary on time of day, but there are, at any given time will be at least 5 for people to choose from, and those will be on site. So again, it's kind of just in that contained ecosystem. People don't have to go anywhere to get food, to get drink, to get water. Water is another thing that obviously we're being very mindful of. So we will have ample water available for people to purchase or to get for free, as well as we'll have industrial misting stations throughout the festival to kind of just cool things off. We're not naive about the fact that we're putting on a festival in August in the South, but we're taking very intentional steps to make it an enjoyable experience for all the guests.
Absolutely. Now I know, I hate to say it, and I don't like to say it, I don't want to jinx anything, but we've had a ton of thunderstorms rolling.
Oh, come on, Chris.
I've been sitting at shows holding doors. So I know it's an outdoor event. It's a rain or shine thing, but obviously in event of extreme weather, what's your plan on, you know, people? Is there room in the tap room for a lot of people to come in, or do we have evacuation plans, or how's that going to work? And I ask this only because I know a lot of people will not be driving to the festival because parking is such an issue in that area and it's very limited. So if people are going to be encouraged to take the light rail or ride share and then thunderstorms happen, what's the plan?
Yeah. So yes, people are encouraged. There will be parking on site, but it's limited. We highly encourage people to light rail, to Uber, Lyft, to, if you are driving, carpool as much as possible. In the event of an emergency, we'll just say, and throw extreme weather under that, there will be ample options for people to egress safely, so they're not just kept out in the elements or kept out in a potentially dangerous situation. We'll also have EMS and CMPD on site to help with anything there. In the event of a major storm, that's one where there candidly is not going to be a gigantic tent that can fit the entire festival under it.
Right.
We do have the indoor space, but it's going to be similar to an event at the Whitewater Center, for instance.
Okay.
Where there are places for people to take shelter, but day of, it's going to have to be if on Saturday, which knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't, looks like there's a thunderstorm all day long, people will have to make a determination there. But we're taking the steps to make sure that anybody who's there can safely get to where they need to go, and there will be limited space for people to get out of the elements.
Okay. And on that note, I'm dropping that whole topic, and I'm fingers crossing, and I'm going to have my dad say his prayer and put the rosary out on the bush, which is what he would do back in the day.
We should all do that.
So tell me a little bit about art vendors, because this is music and we're going to have food and art. So what's the scoop with the artists coming in? And I'm assuming that's all going to be set up on the festival grounds as well.
It is. So we're fortunate to work with the Charlotte Art League there.
Okay.
So they're one of the sponsors and are providing artists in their network who are going to have booths set up throughout the festival. So there will be what you'd expect from a music festival, typical vendors of merchandise and things like that. And then separate from that will be 5 to 10 different artists throughout the weekend. Actually more than that, because the Charlotte Art League plans to cycle them out each day so that they can get the most exposure for local artists. And they'll be selling their art as well.
Okay, nice. So when people are coming in and checking out the music, they can check out the art, grab a nice craft brew, have a snack, and then just enjoy the whole experience, which will be very nice for the area and for all the fans who are just dying for something like this to come here.
Exactly. I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. That's why we're so excited about it. Greg and I were talking at the beginning of all this, and the thing I missed, I think he as well missed most in the pandemic, was just live music, especially live music at a scale like this. So I'm so excited that Charlotte is having a festival like this and that we get to kind of sculpt it in a way that we think really can be the best possible. And obviously we're biased, but I think we've set up a festival that's going to be really great for everybody who's there, and everyone will have a fantastic time.
Yeah, if I weren't working, I'd buy a ticket. I'm excited about the lineup. Yeah. And should also add that for the real diehards on Friday night and Saturday night, so we have to shut down our outdoor stages at 11 o'clock, but there are going to be after parties with local artists. So Akita on Friday night and Benji Hughes on Saturday night at Neighborhood Theater, which is just a short trek from NoDa Brewing.
And is that going to be included with the festival tickets?
That will be included. If you have a wristband for those days, you can just head over to the Neighborhood Theater and walk in for free.
Okay, awesome. That's good to know. And that's going to make for a super long weekend of music and craft beer and food trucks and art. And we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it a lot. And I wanted to thank both of you for taking the time to talk with me today and fill us in on what's going on with the festival, and for doing something like this for Charlotte and the music fans here. Because we have, you see like Atlanta's got like all these huge festivals come, and, this city has this festival, and we're a big city and we don't have anything like that. And I think that you are starting this, and in the area of NoDa that you're starting it, to have it, and the fact that you're a local brewery, the fact that, you have been promoting music here forever and bringing shows to town for a variety of artists, and that you have always taken that local aspect and put it, because you don't just bring the shows that are going to sell the venue. You bring in other artists and give everyone the opportunity to not only hear different artists and new music, but to give the artists the opportunity to showcase what they do and what they're capable of. And the fact that this is going to be kind of like a homegrown festival at the local level is just amazing.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, and one that, again, we very deliberately. This is this is two local companies. It's not a not a national effort. It is Charlotte's Music Festival, started by two Charlotte independent companies. So it's an urban festival. It's, you know, it's within the city limits. Like you said, Atlanta, a lot of other cities have these festivals. Now Charlotte has one that hopefully everyone can be proud of and come out to for 3 days and enjoy the music with us.
Well, I plan on being there, and I hope everyone grabs their tickets and heads out that way, because it's going to be amazing, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm very stoked that you're also already in the works for plans for next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we want to see this be a long time thing for sure in the music community.
Yeah, and on that note too, just to kind of wrap things up, it will be. We are very excited about the festival this year, but what gets us even more excited is knowing that this is year one, and that it's only going to grow from here.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll do another interview on the 10th anniversary.
Look forward to it.
Thank
Let's
you so
do one
much.
before then.
Oh, well, we can do one every year, but I
Okay.
definitely want to put one on the books for that 10-year.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.